We are witnessing the most aggressive push into space in a generation. For decades, human spaceflight was confined to the relative safety of low Earth orbit, but right now, a massive fleet of new heavy-lift rockets is preparing to push much further. The ultimate target for these massive launch vehicles is a full, crewed mission to the surface of Mars. We know how to build the hardware to get there. We've mastered the thrust calculations, the orbital mechanics, and the heat shielding required to navigate a ship across millions of miles of vacuum. But we are surprisingly blind when it comes to the human bodies strapped inside those ships. The engineering required to reach another planet serves no purpose if the biological math of human survival remains unsolved. If we cannot calculate how to keep a crew alive for that multi-year journey, the entire mission architecture fails. Down here, our biology is shielded by Earth's magnetosphere. It creates a massive, invisible bubble that deflects the worst of the universe's ambient energy. The moment astronauts cross beyond that magnetic shield, they lose that protection completely. Deep space is routinely described as empty, but it is actually a highly active, highly radioactive environment, crosshatched with invisible dangers. To test exactly how deadly this environment is, NASA is sending a biological surrogate into the direct line of fire aboard Artemis 2. Today, they call it the Avatar experiment. Instead of waiting to see what happens to a flesh and blood crew, researchers are sacrificing living human tissue to the vacuum of space, carefully measuring exactly how it breaks down. The surrogate they've chosen for this mission is living human bone marrow. It's loaded into an organ on a chip. These are small, highly engineered microchips that feature internal sterile chambers designed to circulate nutrients and keep human tissue alive in extreme conditions. During the Artemis 2 mission, this biological package will be locked inside the Orion capsule, hurtling far beyond the moon and completely exposed to the deep space environment. Because this sealed microchip mimics human internal biology with strict precision, the physical damage it sustains during the flight will give us an exact blueprint of the injuries a future human crew will suffer. The primary threat out there comes from galactic cosmic rays, specifically high-energy particles known as heavy ions. This animation shows a visual comparison between low-energy terrestrial radiation and high-energy heavy ions. Notice how terrestrial radiation moves in soft, continuous waves. Heavy ions act like microscopic kinetic bullets, traveling in tight, straight lines at incredible speeds. When one of these high-energy ions strikes a human cell inside the avatar chip, it physically punches a hole straight through the cellular membrane. As the particle blasts through the cell, it physically shreds the delicate DNA strands, breaking the double helix apart into jagged fragments. Human biology is remarkably good at fixing simple DNA tears caused by normal sunlight or background radiation, but the human body has almost no natural mechanism to repair the complex, shattered gaps left behind by a heavy ion strike. The localized destruction is simply too severe. The highest hurdle of deep space travel is this microscopic kinetic bombardment. It physically dismantles our biology from the inside out. Once the Artemis 2 capsule completes its mission and splashes down back on Earth, researchers will immediately retrieve the Avatar microchips from the cabin. This data visualization charts what scientists will be looking for. By mapping healthy gene sequence structures against the anomalous data points retrieved from the microchip, they can track the exact altered gene expressions caused by the space environment. The resulting data provides a forensic map of radiation damage. This specific biological profile serves as the empirical foundation for all future shielding designs, setting the safety margins we must meet before we can risk a human crew. We have spent decades building rockets that weigh millions of pounds and generate massive columns of thrust. Yet the entire architecture depends on the microscopic fragility of human bone marrow. The multi-year transit time to another planet becomes irrelevant if the crew's cellular structure is irreparably damaged by the time they arrive. Our greatest barrier to becoming a multi-planetary species relies entirely on solving this cellular equation. Escaping Earth's gravity was a matter of physics. Surviving the microscopic crossfire waiting in the dark is a matter of biology.